Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next hour, Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian die in helicopter crash. Iran's Vice President Mohammad Mokber becomes the country's interim president. Polling on for fifth phase of India's parliamentary election. 49 seats up for grabs across 6 states and 2 union territories. And in football, Manchester City wins an unprecedented 4th straight Premier League title, beats West Ham United 3-1. First up, the big breaking news we are tracking here on DD India News Hour. Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi and his Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian have died in a helicopter crash. Iran's East Azerbaijan Province Governor Malik Rahmati and representative of the leader of the Islamic Revolution to East Azerbaijan Province Ayatollah Muhammad Ali Hashim, along with several other people, have also died in the crash. The helicopter crashed as it was crossing a mountainous terrain in heavy fog, but there is no official word yet on the cause of the crash. Iran's Vice President Mohammad Mokber has become the country's interim president for now. Raisi was elected president in 2021. Since taking office, he has tightened the country's morality laws, overseen a bloody crackdown on anti-government protests, and pushed hard in nuclear talks with world powers. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who holds ultimate power with a final say on foreign policy and Iran's nuclear program, had earlier sought to reassure Iranians, saying that there would be no disruption to state affairs. Right, joining me is my colleague Stuart Smith. He is in Baghdad, Iraq. Also joining us is a former Indian ambassador, Mr. Anil Kumar Trigunath, is a former Indian envoy to Jordan, Libya and Malta. Good morning, gentlemen. First to you, Stuart. Fill us in on the latest news on the missing helicopter. What are you picking up?
Yeah, it's really just broken in the last hour, say. Overnight, a Turkish unmanned aerial vehicle was sent from neighbouring Turkey to search this area at night, boosting the resources of the search teams there, which were unable to get their own aircraft in the skies. Now, the heavy fog and the poor weather is one of the reasons that could have brought down the helicopter. That's not been confirmed yet, but it was also the reason that search teams initially struggled to find the wreckage of this plane, having to walk on foot just with sniffer dogs, with vehicles unable to get to the suspected crash site. That UAV identified the wreckage of the aircraft a few hours ago, and then with the sunrise, drones were able to be used in the area, and the Red Crescent identified the wreckage, and initial searches found that there were no signs of life, and now that has been confirmed by those on the ground that indeed none of the occupants survived. What hasn't been confirmed, and we're expecting news in the next hour, is an official statement from the government of Iran about what happens next. But as you suggest, the vice president, according to the constitution, will be in charge, and within 50 days, 50 days, an election is due to be called.
Stuart, as we break this unfortunate news here on this broadcast, I have to ask you this. How's the world reacting to this unfortunate incident?
Well, for now, world leaders seem to be holding off on sending their condolences until that news has been officially confirmed by the Iranian government. It seems clear from the picture on the ground, but they're waiting, it seems, for an official statement before jumping the gun. All leaders, though, have already sent from across the world, the West as well as countries more friendly with Iran, about the condolences to the situation when that crash was announced. It was known from very early on what was described by state media as a hard landing was very bad news for the occupants inside. There were rumours that there was communication with some survivors initially. Those faded, though, in the first few hours after the crash. But largely it's offers of help. Russia, for example, had already sent a plane with helicopters and a 50-person rescue team to Iran to try to help. It now looks like that won't be needed.
Stuart, thank you. Stuart Smith in Baghdad, Iraq. Coming to you now, Ambassador Tryggvi. First of all, thank you for joining us on this broadcast. If I may begin by asking you, Ambassador Tryggvi, what does this mean, or what might this mean for the region and the world at large?
Well, Ramesh, at the outset, I would like to commiserate with our Iranian friends. And as our Prime Minister has conveyed his solidarity with the Iranian people and hoped that the President and Foreign Minister and others will survive. But as it looks unlikely from the ground reporting that has been done, it is a sad moment for the Iranians. But as has been said by the Supreme Leader, and as you have also reported that the first Vice President, Mr. Mokhber, has already taken in the interim and is very likely to continue for the next 50 days. We know that the Iranian President Raisi was basically a very hardliner, a conservative leader, and who continued to project power. But at the same time, he was also trying to follow the kind of, in the region, some kind of a modus vivendi with other countries, especially I would say, the normalization to a great extent of ties with Saudi Arabia. That was very important, and we have seen that during this Israel-Hamas war, they have continuously worked together, and they have tried to avoid any major conflagration in the region, even though he responded very quickly to the attacks which were undertaken by IDF against the Israeli Defense Forces against their consulate in Damascus. So, to a great extent, and as has been reported recently, that there have been back-channel talks also with the United States and Oman. I think that he behaved in a more pragmatic manner during a very difficult time which is going through in the region, which is virtually just sitting on a conflagration. So the Iranians, but I believe that overall the power also eventually lies with the Supreme Leader, and IRGC, the Revolutionary Guard, worked directly under him. So in the interim, we will see some kind of a little bit of a problem, because domestically also there are a lot of issues that the country has been facing. We have seen the case of Mahsa Amini and, the hardliner, the conservative attitude, the trying to impose hijab and all other things. So that is also, domestically, there has been a bit of a continuous, fight against him and his administration. But he was also reckoned to be one of the, or rather, the main contender for the post of the to take over from the Ali Khamenei. What we are looking at is now that race will be once again open, because the son of Khamenei also is in the race, although Khamenei personally has been said to not prefer continuation of the dynastic rule itself. So I think that there are a lot of things, a lot of balls in the air. Of course, we'll have to wait for the official confirmation. But as it looks like today, it is a difficult day for the Iranians.
Indeed, a difficult day for the Iranian people and government alike, says my guest, Ambassador Tryggvi. Ambassador, we discussed about the implications for the region at large. I want us to dwell a bit more, if you will, on the implications for Iran domestically speaking. do you foresee a change in the stability of the regime or any other political upheaval given what has happened?
Well, I don't think that this would really cause any major upheaval in the country because it is very strictly controlled country, although there are the women and several other civil society groups are against the imposition of various rules, regulations, which are not being seen lightly by many of at least half of the population in the country. But at the same time, today, I think that what one witnesses is that this particular loss that the country is facing may even try to bring them together. Or because, see, there are bigger threats that they face from Israel in this. And there is a real danger of escalation between Iran and Israel that has been kept under the wraps for some time now. And but you never know when it will go out of hand.
Right.
Because as you know, in the beginning, there was the first reports that came apparently were attributed to Mossad about this. So there are conspiracy theories that will continue to play out in this, and to what extent. So those are the ones which tend to coagulate the large number of political dissents in the country, because when it comes to a question of Iran, I think that most people will support, and this may not to the extent. Of course, the next president, we don't know who will be there, but whosoever will be the next president essentially will have the endorsement by Supreme Leader Khamenei.
Ambassador, do stay on. I'll come back to you momentarily. I want to update our viewers about what might happen or could happen next in Iran. Now, if a president dies in office, Article 131 of the Islamic Republic's constitution says the first vice president, in this case Mohammad Moghber, takes over with the confirmation of the supreme leader, in this case Ali Khamenei, who has the final say in all matters of state in Iran. That plus a council consisting of the first vice president, the speaker of the country's parliament and the head of the judiciary must arrange an election for a new president within a maximum period of 50 days. Right, coming back to Ambassador Regunayeth. Ambassador, I want us to discuss a bit more, if you will, about Iran's ties with India, one, and two, Iran's ties with the world powers going forward. Do you at all anticipate or see a shift in the equilibrium?
Well, one thing I would like to say that whether it is President Ebrahim Raisi or it is the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei,
right,
they have adopted a policy which most of the major Gulf countries have done, which is called Act East policy. So their relationship is moving more towards India and China in that sense, and their closeness has increased. We have seen that Prime Minister Modi had met in Johannesburg at the BRICS summit,
right,
and India supported Iran's inclusion into the BRICS, which was highly appreciated. We have recently signed this Chabahar deal, which has been hanging fire for quite some time, was not being realized for full potential. But now there are about $370 million have been allocated, and India has acquired this as the first port, which is very strategic for us. So Iran is our strategic partner. It is very strategic for our outreach to Afghanistan as well as to Central Asia. So therefore, our relationship with Iran, especially after the recent visit also in January by Foreign Minister Dr. Jaishankar, which has opened up these. So I think that our relationship will continue to strengthen irrespective, because the general policy is there. Of course, there is a bit of a concern among them. They also expect us to buy their oil. And I hope that in time we will see how things proceed. But at the same time, as far as the Western countries are concerned, I don't see a great change in their policy towards the West.
Okay.
But I believe that the Iranians have realized, like others in the region, that they have to find a regional modus vivendi with one another, and which is what is being witnessed. I mean, for example, all the countries in the region have showed their concern. Saudi Arabia has immediately offered, Turkey has offered, Turkish drone actually seems to have identified where exactly the location of the site, crash site was. Even Azerbaijan, he was there yesterday for the inauguration of this dam on the East Azerbaijan and the border. and met Aliyev, who was supposed to be some kind of a rivalry between them. But at the same time, what we are looking at is that Iranians have also realized that the regional collaborations are very important. Of
Right.
course, intra-regional competition will continue. And we are seeing that now the Saudi Arabia and US deal is nearly, security deal is nearly concluded.
Right.
So that will also play out how it goes on, and what happens to Gaza will also decide quite a bit.
Absolutely. All right, we leave it at that. Ambassador Anil
Thank
Kumar Trigonai, thank you once again for joining us and sharing your thoughts and insights with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
And before we move on, just to recap what has happened in the last 15 odd minutes on this broadcast, the big news we're breaking here is that Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian have died in a helicopter crash, and Iran's Vice President Mohammad Moghber has become the country's interim president for now. Still to come on DD India News Hour. We get you the ground action from the places where polling is being held in the fifth phase of India's parliamentary election. In the UK, a car rally was organised to show support for India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu put on red alert after forecast of more heavy rains.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
We are in Cannes, the famous city on the French Riviera. The 77th edition of the Cannes Film Festival is here. So soak into 12 days of world cinema and the hottest fashion trends. The famous 24 steps leading to the Palais des Festivals, where most of the cinema at this festival is screened, are beckoning. Join me, Munmun Bhattacharya, as I take you through all the buzz around the festival and on India's participation in it, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Let's now get you the latest on the world's largest democratic election in India. Polling is on for Phase 5 of India's parliamentary election, covering 49 seats across 6 states and 2 union territories. Voting is underway on 14 seats of Uttar Pradesh, 13 seats of Maharashtra, 7 seats of West Bengal, 5 seats each of Odisha and Bihar, 3 seats of Jharkhand and 1 seat each in Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. More than 947,000 officials have been deployed across 94,732 polling stations. The last 4 phases of the election have covered 379 parliamentary constituencies of 23 states and union territories. An average voter turnout of 66.95% had been recorded. Polling is also being held for 35 assembly constituencies of the state of Odisha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged voters in India to come out in large numbers to vote. He said on X, and I quote, "As 49 seats across 8 states and union territories go to the polls today in the 5th phase of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, urging all those whose constituencies are polling today to vote in record numbers. I especially call upon women voters and young voters to exercise their franchise," unquote. So polling is underway across all 6 parliamentary seats of Mumbai. Reserve Bank of India's Governor Shaktikanta Das was among the early voters to cast their vote in the financial capital of India, that's Mumbai, on Monday. BJP candidate from Mumbai North parliamentary seat Piyush Goyal also cast his vote at a polling station in Mumbai. The Congress has fielded Bhushan Patil from the Mumbai North constituency. Rahul Shivale, a Shiv Sena candidate for the Mumbai South Central constituency, also cast his vote. Mumbai BJP chief Ashish Shelar cast his vote at a polling booth in the city. Bollywood stars also stepped out early on Monday morning to vote in the elections in the city. Bollywood actor Paresh Rawal shows the indelible ink mark on his finger after casting his vote. Actor Janhvi Kapoor also exercised her franchise in Mumbai in the 5th phase of the election. Minister Piyush Goyal, lawyer Ujjwal Nikam, Mumbai Congress Chief Varsha Gaikwad and Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's son Shrikant are among the ones in the electoral fray in this phase. Right, time to bring in DD India's team of reporters covering the election from the ground. Joining me are Gautam Roy from Leh in Ladakh, Shishir Shelar from Mumbai in Maharashtra, and Kriti Vadhera joins us from Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. If I can start with you again, Gautam, what more can you tell us about the polling in Leh as we speak?
It has picked up pace is what I can say at the moment, Ramesh. And in terms of the 9 o'clock data, the 9 a.m. data since the polling began at 7, it's been 10.55%, which is modest. And there's a stark difference between the level of polling and the pace of polling that is taking place in Leh, which is one district in Ladakh, and the other one that is Kargil, because in Leh it's 7.6% for 9 a.m. and 13.2% in terms of what's been happening in Kargil. So there's a difference there as well, but one can expect that as the day progresses, more and more people will turn up to vote over here. With me is a young voter, the first-time voter. His name is Rigzin. Let's just talk to him for a bit. Rigzin, you voted for the first time. How does it feel? What did you come to the polling station in your mind with, to cast your vote?
Yes, sir. So good morning to everyone. So today, me, Rigzin, I'm a first-time voter. This right to vote is a fundamental right in a constitution. And today I feel, as I voted for my first time and I used my electoral voting right, I feel as a very responsible citizen. Mm-hmm. As being a part of a democratic nation, voting is the must and the most important thing a voter should do.
What would you say to other young people like you? Because a lot of people in places like Ladakh also go out and study and then are unable to cast their ballot, exercise their franchise. Should they be making an extra effort?
Yes, sir. I must say too, and I urge all the youth of Ladakh to actively participate, and I urge everybody to actively participate and cast their vote, and responsibly and and they must think twice before they cast their vote, because if you vote once, this is the thing of like the government will stay for 5 years. Your one vote will make a difference till 5 years.
Thank you, Rigzin. So there you have it. That's the kind of sentiment here among the young people. A lot of enthusiasm, but there is, of course, a concern also that many of them are out of town and may not be here. But as we speak, even now, I'm learning that people are making the effort to get to their homes on time to cast their ballot. Ramesh.
Indeed, good to see a first-time voter come out to vote in Leh, Gautam. Shifting focus to Mumbai now, where my colleague Shishir Shelar is standing by. Shishir, since the last time we spoke, has polling picked up in the city?
Well, absolutely, Ramesh. Just the numbers we've got from Maharashtra, 13 seats are going for the poll. in the last phase of Maharashtra here, and the voting percentage so far is almost 6.33%. Of course, South Mumbai, Mumbai North, Mumbai Northeast, these are some of the important parliamentary constituencies that are going for the poll here, and some of the important candidates as well, which includes Union Minister Piyush Goyal, the famous public prosecutor Ujjwal Nikam is also will be having a poll today. Apart from that, in Thane district in Maharashtra, Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's son Dr. Shrikant Shinde is also contesting from Kalyan constituency. We've also seen that Union Minister Bharati Pawar is also contesting from the Dindori parliamentary constituencies. So obviously, some of the big names are in fray today, and since morning we have seen that the voting has picked up. Well, obviously the morning time in Mumbai, it's because we have seen a large number of voter turnout, is because later in the day it was scorching heat and absolutely humid conditions here. People basically prefer to come in the morning time, in the first half of it, and that's the reason since morning we have seen a long queues, especially at some of the voting stations here. Young voters also probably, we have also seen some of the senior citizens have also came in a large number to cast their vote. Right now I'm standing in one of the polling booth here. Well, arrangements as far as are concerned, let me tell you that, as I told you, that it's quite humid and quite scorching heat in Mumbai. Some of the arrangements have been made for the people, so they can go inside the polling stations and probably they can wait for their turn. Waters have been supplied at most of the polling stations here. And most important thing, Ramesh, in order to attract more and more voters, the Election Commission has came out with the new ideas. For example, some of the polling stations have been turned, painted in a pink color, which represent the women power. In Mumbai also, we have seen some of those polling stations where all the women staffs have been deployed here for the work. So these kind of activities have also been taken place. Well, the Mumbai is known for its business-centric activities also, and the film industry as well, and that's the reason since morning we have seen that lots of film stars have come out and cast their vote, have also appealed to the people to come in large number. We have seen the RBI governor have exercised their vote here in Mumbai. Apart from that, some of the industrialists, businessmen will also be coming by afternoon to cast his vote. So obviously enthusiasm at this point in time in Mumbai looks quite an overwhelmed here, and probably going in the next, probably in the second half of the day, we may see some of the major voter turnout probably in Mumbai and the adjoining area as well.
All right, from Mumbai, let me now go across to my colleague Kriti Vadhera, who is joining us from Ayodhya in Uttar Pradesh. Kriti, good morning to you. Give us a sense of the mood in Ayodhya on polling day.
Well, good morning, Ramesh, and let me tell you, since morning 6:30 a.m. we have been witnessing long queues here in Ayodhya, and because it's very hot here, 44-45 degrees mercury is raising during the daytime. So since early morning, even before the official time of the voting, voters were here near polling stations to cast their votes, and majorly senior citizens we could witness who came early morning and practiced their right to vote. And let me just tell you that I'm standing here. It's a pink polling station, as I have been hearing other correspondents as well. This time, a revolutionary change by Election Commission of India we are witnessing countrywide. Behind me, there's a selfie point, and voters, once they are casting their votes, they're coming here taking selfies. So we are living in digital era. That also has been kept in mind while designing these polling stations. And because it is too hot here to even stand in this sun, special arrangements for medical services are also there on my right, and many chairs and a proper shade, so that till the time they are waiting to cast their vote, they can sit here and wait for their turn. And of course, clean drinking water facilities are also provided in these polling stations. So this time, the designing of these polling stations is very sensitive, I would say, keeping in mind the temperature here in Ayodhya. So that's how the district level administration has planned. And this particular constituency extends up to hundreds of kilometers if I talk about Faizabad as parliamentary seats. So in all rural areas also, these kinds of polling stations have been designed. And since morning till 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., the record for Faizabad parliamentary seat comes up to 12% as a whole. And this particular assembly seat where I'm standing in Ayodhya, has casted around 14% vote up till now.
All right, we leave it there. Thank you so much, Kriti Vadhera in Ayodhya, Shishir Shelar in Mumbai, and Gautam Roy in Leh. Thank you, appreciate it. And time for a very short break. Keep watching DD India News Hour.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. A quick recap of the headlines. Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi and Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian die in helicopter crash. Iran's Vice President Mohammad Moghber becomes the country's interim president. Polling on for fifth phase of India's parliamentary election, 49 seats up for grabs across 6 states and 2 union territories. And in football, Manchester City wins an unprecedented 4th straight Premier League title, beats West Ham United 3-1. Right, before we proceed any further, let me quickly fill you in with the big news we are tracking on this broadcast. Iran's President Ebrahim Raisi and his Foreign Minister Amir Abdullahian have died in a helicopter crash. 2 other prominent leaders, along with several other people, have also died in the crash. The helicopter crashed as it was crossing a mountainous terrain in heavy fog, but there is no official word yet on the cause of the crash. Iran's Vice President Mohammad Moghber has become the country's interim president for now. A council consisting of the first Vice President, the Speaker of the country's parliament, and the head of the judiciary will now arrange an election for a new president within a maximum period of 50 days. And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over Raisi's demise. In a tweet, he said, and I quote, "Deeply saddened and shocked by the tragic demise of Dr. Syed Ebrahim Raisi, President of the Islamic Republic of Iran. His contribution to strengthening India-Iran bilateral relationship will always be remembered. My heartfelt condolences to his family and the people of Iran. India stands with Iran in this time of sorrow," unquote. And we'll bring you more updates as we go along. But for now, returning to the other big story we're tracking on DD India News Hour, the great Indian election. Joining me from Kolkata is my colleague Anibrato Bhattacharya. Anibrato, good morning to you. How's the polling coming along in Kolkata?
In the 7 Lok Sabha constituencies in the 3 districts of West Bengal, polling is largely peaceful here.
Anibrato, do stay on. I'll come back to you momentarily. We'll fix that link with you in just a bit. But going across to my other colleague who is standing by in another part of West Bengal, Dibyendu Mondal, I'm told, is with us. Dibyendu, can you hear me?
Yes, Ramesh, I can hear you.
Right, great. So how is the polling coming along where you are?
Well, Ramesh, it's absolutely fantastic. Bengal has always been recording a great number of turnout in terms of polling. By about 9:30 in the morning, we have seen over 15% of polling recorded in Bengal. So of course, that's the highest in the country amongst all the places that are going to polls in this particular phase. Ramesh, I have also cast my vote and I've got it inked. It's absolutely a pride moment, and I think everybody who's eligible voter should go out and cast their vote. So of course, also if you can see behind me, these long queues also gives a testimony of the fact that the high number of turnouts in West Bengal, you can gauge from the fact that this line that you see, the queue that you see, is since morning. This huge number of people are coming out to vote in large numbers. So absolutely, it's a festival of democracy here in Bengal. But having said this, it's a caveat. There have been reports of violence that have come from different parts of the state. Since morning, there have been scuffles that have broken out between the TMC and the BJP in some parts. In some booths, both the BJP and TMC alleged that each other's agents were not allowed to be not allowed inside the polling stations. I've spoken to the officials here. They have said that they are taking adequate measures. While I was coming to this polling station, Ramesh, I saw the police officials along with the paramilitary were carrying out route marches in different parts of this constituency here in Bangaon. Back to you.
Right, Dibyendu, thank you for that update. Let me now go across to Anibrotho, who is joining us from Kolkata in West Bengal. Anibrotho, tell us a bit more about the polling where you are in the city as well as elsewhere in the state.
Yeah, actually, Ramesh, barring a few stray incidents in different pockets in the 3 districts in the 7 Lok Sabha constituencies in Bengal, polling is largely peaceful. So far, in the last 3 years, 24.5% voter turnout is reported. And as you know, massive deployment of central force is there. Around 800 company of central force is deployed in the single phase. That is unprecedented in the true sense of word, because Bengal didn't witness such massive deployment of central force in a single phase. And this thing is happening today is because, these Bonga and Barakpur, these two are the vulnerable constituencies, and an election commission has taken special measures for these 2 constituencies, and out of these 7 constituencies, the polling is underway. 60% of the polling stations have been termed as a sensitive polling stations. So as you can understand this, why this massive deployment of central force is there. Out of these 7 constituencies where the polling is underway, in the last 2019, we found that the BJP backed 3 Lok Sabha constituencies, particularly Bonga, Barakpur, and Hooghly, and rest of in the fold of the Trinamool Congress. And this time, what we find is in a Bonga Lok Sabha constituency, as you see, that Central Minister Shantanu Thakur is pitted against the Trinamool candidate. And here, as you know, this although multi-corner contest is there, but contest is mainly Trinamool Congress and BJP. And now what we find that since polling started at 7, large number of voters joined in the lines, and because Met-up is predicted thunder shower and rainfall, so voters joined in the line early morning so that they could cast their vote as early as possible.
All right, we'll leave it there. Anibrotho Bhattacharya, thank you once again for joining us from Kolkata. That was my colleague Anibrotho reporting from the West Bengal capital. Meanwhile, campaigning for the next phase, that is phase 6 of election scheduled for 25th of May, has gained momentum. Political parties and leaders alike are holding public meetings and roadshows across the country. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is visiting Odisha and West Bengal on Monday. He began the day by holding a roadshow in Odisha's Puri for the ongoing elections in the state. The Prime Minister will address 2 election rallies in Dhenkanal and Cuttack before heading to West Bengal in the evening. BJP leader and Home Minister Amit Shah will hold public rallies in Haryana's Karnal and Jhajjar. Later in the day, he will hold a public meeting in Delhi's Sangam Vihar. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is to hold a public rally in Chandigarh in support of Sanjay Tandon of the BJP. Top opposition leaders are also holding rallies. Rashtriya Janata Dal leader Prasar Bharati will be campaigning at Phulwari. All right, now take a look at what else is making news in India. A car rally and prayer was organized in support of Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Basingstoke in the United Kingdom. The event drew more than 100 cars. The car rally was not only showcasing strong support for Modi among Indian diaspora in the UK, but also served as a celebration of Indian culture and community spirit abroad. The southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu was put on red alert after the India Meteorological Department forecast more heavy rains. The disaster response force in the region has deployed 9 teams in the state's high-risk areas after authorities predicted heavy rainfall till 22nd May. The state government has activated warning systems in the coastal areas of the state. Indian expatriate Gopi Totakura made history as he became the first Indian space tourist and the second Indian ever to venture into space as part of the crew for Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin. The Blue Origin successfully completed its 7th human space flight and the 25th flight for the New Shepard program on Sunday. And still to come on DD India News Hour. On day 7 of the Cannes Film Festival, 4 films are being screened in the competition section. And in tennis, Alexander Zverev wins 6th Masters title at Italian Open. An Artera 24 Fine Arts exhibition and competition held in Dubai to discover hidden artistic gems.
Voice of a rising aspirational world. Stories of challenges, struggles and accomplishment. A world battling conflict, hunger and poverty. Embracing growth, development, science and technology. A voice of progress, a voice of unity. Watch Voice of the Global South with me, Akshay Dongre, only on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan called on Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Sunday amid U.S. calls for a more focused military campaign. Sullivan spoke with Netanyahu about his meeting in Saudi Arabia with the kingdom's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and the potential that may now be available for Israel as well as the Palestinians. The two also discussed the war in Gaza and the need to minimize civilian casualties. The statement released after their meeting said that the U.S. reaffirmed the need for Israel to connect its military operations to a political strategy that can ensure the lasting defeat of Hamas, the release of hostages, and a better future for Gaza. Lai Ching-te takes office as Taiwan's new president on Monday amid tensions with China. Lai won the presidential election in January this year to succeed the incumbent Tsai Ing-wen, who has served 2 consecutive 4-year terms. They both belong to the Democratic Progressive Party. Lai's inauguration will mark the first time for the DPP to assume a 3rd straight presidency. Now, this marks the historic 3rd straight victory for the DPP after Tsai Ing-wen completed her 2 terms as Taiwan's president from 2016 onwards. Lai, who previously served as Tainan's mayor, has pledged to continue bolstering national defense, the economy and cooperation with democratic allies. He said he would maintain deterrence and uphold the cross-strait status quo during an election speech. Lai said that he would form a new government staffed by individuals based on their capabilities rather than party affiliation. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal Prachand of Nepal will seek a vote of confidence from the country's lawmakers on Monday. As per Article 102 of the Constitution of Nepal, the Prime Minister should table a motion for vote of confidence within 30 days if a political party in a coalition government withdraws its support to the Prime Minister. Prachand was made to seek a trust vote after the Upendra Yadav-led Janta Samajwadi Party Nepal withdrew its support on 13th May after a split in the party. It's the fourth time that Prachand, who became Prime Minister on 25th December 2022, has to undertake a floor test. The current coalition government needs the support of 138 lawmakers to ensure a vote of confidence. Dominican Republic's incumbent President Luis Abinader soared to victory in elections with a wide margin to clinch a second term. Luis Abinader thanked supporters Sunday night after preliminary election results showed a decisive victory without the need for a second round. Abinader said his main rival Leonel Fernandez called to recognize his election victory. With about 56% of voting centers reporting, Abinader held 58.85% of the vote, followed by three-time former President Leonel Fernandez coming up at 27.29%. Presidents in the Dominican Republic are restricted to 2 terms of 4 years, although previous reforms have extended the presidential mandate. And now take a look at what else is making news around the world. Spain recalled its ambassador from Argentina on Sunday after Argentina's President Javier Milei made derogatory comments about Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez's wife during a far-right rally in Madrid. Other ministers also condemned Milei's speech in which he described socialism as quote-unquote cursed. Police in Budapest searched for missing persons after a small motorboat collision killed 2 on Saturday. Police have launched a criminal investigation against an unknown perpetrator to determine the cause of the accident. The goal of the investigation is to find whether anyone is criminally liable. South Korea and the United Kingdom to co-host the second Global AI Summit in Seoul this week. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol will oversee a virtual summit on Tuesday. The summit to focus on the call of better regulation of artificial intelligence, and meetings beginning Tuesday are now billed as the AI Seoul Summit. Moving on day 7 of the Cannes Film Festival, 4 films are screening in the competition section on Monday. Also, Indian-British filmmaker Sandhya Suri's Santosh is screening in Uncertain Regard section of the festival on Monday. Santosh marks Sandhya's debut as a director of a narrative feature film. Let's go live to Cannes, where our correspondent Munmun Bhattacharya is standing by. Munmun, tell us more about the screenings slated to happen on Monday.
Right, good morning to you, Ramesh. There are 4 films that are screening today in the competition section. Remember, there are 22 films in all that are competing for the prestigious Palme d'Or Award, which is given to the director of the best film. That award will be given out on the 25th of May. And like I said, 4 out of those 22 films are screening in the competition section. There's Limonov the Ballad, there is The Substance, there is The Apprentice, and there is The Shrouds. So Limonov the Ballad is by Russian director Kirill. It is on a Russian poet living in New York. Then there is The Substance by French director Kohali Faja. She is best known for directing The Revenge, and this is a horror subgenre that stars Demi Moore. Besides that, there is The Shrouds by David Cronenberg. He's a Canadian horror movie director, and this is about a widower who tries to connect with the dead. So those are some of the movies. Besides that, there is also The Apprentice by Iranian-Danish filmmaker Ali Abbasi. This is on Donald Trump's early business career. So these 4 movies will be screening in the competition section today. And like you said, under the Uncertain Regard section, an Indian film is being screened today. It is Santosh by Sandhya Suri. She is a British Indian filmmaker. Now, this is a co-production between India, Britain and the UK. and this has been shot in Lucknow, the capital of Uttar Pradesh. This particular film has made use of the incentive scheme of the Government of India, under which 40% cashback of the production cost can take place. This is being done to incentivize co-productions as well as to encourage foreign filmmakers to shoot in India. Now, Sandhya Suri's narrative filmmaking debut is what Santosh is, but her feature documentary for India already screened in the World Competition section at the Sundance Film Festival in 2006. So it's a proud moment for India, an Indian film screening in uncertain regards section. Payal Kapadia's All We Imagine at Light is in the competition section, is competing for the Palme d'Or. That is going to be shown on the 23rd. But this particular film has been shown. Also, The Shameless has been shown in the past. Its premiere was on the 17th of this month. That is also from India and also a co-production. So India is making a mark as far as this festival is concerned this year.
Also, Munmun, tell us more about how Indian cinematographer Santosh Shivan is set to be honored at the festival.
Yes, Ramesh, he's just landed in Cannes yesterday, and this award presentation is going to take place on the 24th. Preeti Zinta is going to be presenting the award to him in one of the theatres of the Cannes Film Festival. On the 23rd, he's going to take a masterclass with Cannes delegates. And this is very important because it's for the first time ever that an Indian cinematographer is being awarded the Pia Angelou Award. So it is really a big honor for India. He is an alumna of FTII Pune. Also, to tell you a little about his journey, he started really at the age of 7 or 8 because his visual training started then. His grandmother used to work in the Travancore Palace, from where she used to get paintings of famous artist Raja Ravi Verma. That influenced him, that fired up his imagination, the mythological stories. He also did a film on it later, and he also played the role of Raja Ravi Verma. Having said that, there was also influence of his father on him because his father was a professional still photographer, and that helped him understand about culture and traveling. Then, like I said, he went to FTII Pune, where he was exposed to world cinema. He learned about technology, about cinematography, the finer aspects of it. Then he started traveling into different parts of the country and the world. He met tribal children. He started teaching them photography and how to process photographs. And then he became a filmmaker as well. The Terrorist is a very famous film that he has made, also highly acclaimed. He's also worked with Shah Rukh Khan on Ashoka. So it's come a long way, and it's really going to be a proud moment for India when on the 24th, the eve of the closing of the Cannes Film Festival, he's going to be awarded.
All right, we leave it at that. Munmun, thank you. That was my colleague Munmun Bhattacharya reporting from Cannes Film Festival. And now to all the news from the world of sport. Manchester City won an unprecedented 4th straight English top-flight title with a 3-1 win over West Ham United on Sunday. Phil Foden scored 2 early goals at an expectant Etihad Stadium to put his side on the brink of the title before Mohamed Kudus pulled one back with a spectacular overhead kick. But Rodri struck just before the hour to restore City's 2-goal cushion, and the home side rarely looked troubled as they coasted to the win. City, which has now won 6 titles in 7 years, stands alone as the only English team to have won 4 straight top-flight titles. Alexander Zverev warmed up for the French Open by winning his 6th Masters title. Zverev beat first-time finalist Nicolas Jarry 6-4, 7-5 in the Italian Open final on Sunday. It was a second title in Rome for the German third seed, having won his first in 2017 when he was a 20-year-old, and his first trophy since he broke his ankle in the French Open semi-finals in 2022. The Artra 24 Fine Arts exhibition and competition has made its mark in Dubai as a platform for discovering and nurturing emerging artistic talents from the country. The primary motive of the event is to nurture budding artists in the country and introduce them to the world. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. All of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.